What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we back with another huge update. I know y'all can already tell it's going down just by the title. JD Vance back at it again. It seems like he's been on a mission in these interviews. He's on a mission to get the truth out there to all the American people, whether that be on the right, that be on the left. He's going to get the truth out there. Here he's doing it with CNN host Jake Tapper. He just allows JD Vance to push the truth. This may have just costed Jake Tapper his entire career, guys. Excited to get in this one, so we're gonna hop straight into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button. Before we get into it, guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's jump straight in it, guys. Here we go, JD Vance.
Thank you so much for joining us. What's your reaction to what you heard from your counterpart and from the Democrats this evening in Chicago?
Well, I think it's an interesting contrast, Jake, between what President Trump and I are offering, which is very simple. We are advancing policies that are going to lower the cost of housing, lower the cost of food, secure the southern border, and raise wages for the middle class. And Kamala Harris really can't run on accomplishing that because her policies have, in fact, caused a lot of the problems and a lot of the suffering that we see in our country. So what you see from the Democrats is instead this argument that if you want to vote for Donald Trump because you want to change the direction of this country, you're somehow a bad person. And I really think that that dark message really doesn't gel at all with the idea that somehow the Democrats are the joyful party. There's a lot of attacks on Donald Trump, a lot of criticisms of what he's done and what he's said, not a whole lot of positive vision for how Kamala Harris is going to fix the problems that plague the country.
JD Vance absolutely off to a rocket start. We see in this interview Jake Tapper letting him get the truth out. This is no interrupt show. We usually see CNN cut you off halfway to the point, but JD Vance here able to get straight to it, guys. He's slamming Kamala Harris, her non-existent policies, and the way she just bashed the way that Donald Trump and his supporters want to change America for the better, make America great again, guys. Oh my goodness, JD Vance proving his case as why he is Donald Trump's running mate right here. Listen to him, guys.
There's also been some criticisms of you. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg this evening spoke tonight. He took aim at one of your past comments from 2021 that Americans that don't have children have, quote, no physical commitment to the future of this country, unquote. I want you to take a listen and get your reaction.
You know, Senator, when I deployed to Afghanistan, I didn't have kids then. Many of the men and women who went outside the wire with me didn't have kids either. But let me tell you, our commitment to the future of this country was pretty damn physical.
What's your response?
Well, my response, Jake, is that Pete Buttigieg has taken a sarcastic remark that I made 3 years ago and turned it into something to distract from the fact that his leadership has seen higher transportation costs, higher fuel costs, and higher food prices for American citizens all over our country. These guys act so focused on a sarcastic quip that I made that they ignore the fact that under Kamala Harris's leadership, Americans can't afford the basic necessities of a good life in this country. And so I appreciate that Pete Buttigieg pretends to be offended by what I said. I think Pete should be offended by the fact that under his leadership as Secretary of Transportation, the government took in $8 billion to build 7 electric vehicle charging facilities at a time when Americans are paying 45% more for the gas that transports them to work. That's what we should be focused on, and that's what we should be talking about. And it illustrates, Jake, my entire criticism of the Democratic approach here is they're focused on fake issues instead of the real record. And the real record is that Kamala Harris has made this country poorer. Donald Trump made the middle class richer, and he caused a lot of peace and prosperity to break out in this country and all over the world. It's a very simple contrast, and I wish the Democrats would focus on the issues.
Oh my goodness, JD Vance will not stop. He's not letting off the gas right here, guys. He's going to keep it up. I'm going to let him finish right here, but I just have to say he's right, guys, on every single point where the left, Pete Buttigieg, we're seeing right there, he's trying to point out an old sarcastic remark JD Vance made in the past years ago, and we're not focused on the real issue, the task at hand, guys. You know, what's going on, the problems in our country right now, the fact that, you know, underneath their leadership, their administration, not to mention the left has been in control, in power for the last 12 out of 16 years. Donald Trump only got 4 years, and they want to blame everything on Donald Trump. Let's focus on what's going on and what you guys have caused, because we can clearly see that Donald Trump has not been in power, been in the White House for the majority of the time. We've seen the Democrats been there. So JD Vance going to keep hammering it home. I'm surprised Jake Tapper is allowed to let this keep going. I'm surprised he has the earpiece. I don't know if it's not working. I'm not sure like what's happening, but he's just letting JD Vance heat it up, laying it on thick with the truth right here. Love it. JD Vance, Jake Tapper, I guess, is going to allow it.
There was another comment about you I wanted to get a reaction to. This evening we heard a bit about January 6, 2021. We saw a video of police officers getting assaulted. Take a listen to what Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin said the other night about you.
And by the way, J.D. Vance, do you understand why there was a sudden job opening for running mate on the GOP ticket? They tried to kill your predecessor.
Do you have any reservations at all taking the ticket, taking the opportunity to serve as a vice presidential nominee, given what happened to Vice President Pence on January 6th?
No, not at all, Jake. And look, I can't help but laugh at what Jamie Raskin said. These are people who somehow always make themselves the victims. Jamie Raskin should be much more worried about the fact that there are a lot of Americans that can't afford to buy groceries, that can't afford to put their children in a nice home because of the policy.
There it is, JD. Put them right back on track. Focus on the real task, the real problems in our country right now. Oh my goodness, JD Vance, he is showing why he is Donald Trump's VP, his running mate. I don't understand why they keep trying to be the victim at every single point. JD Vance, line him up. Lay them down.
Can't
Come on,
afford to buy groceries, that can't afford to put their children in a nice home because of the policies that he has implemented and he has voted for. I just don't understand a person in American politics in 2024 who's whining about what happened to them instead of using their leadership and using their influence to make the lives of American citizens better. I have no reservations about taking this job because I know that if we make Donald J. Trump president of the United States, he's going to deliver rising wages, lower prices, and a secure border. That is all worth it for me, whatever the media or Jamie Raskin says about me.
I want to play some of what Governor Walz said during his speech, his acceptance speech earlier tonight, and get your reaction.
Hey, I know that last part right there had Donald Trump somewhere smiling when he's seen JD Vance, defending his title, his spot as VP, no matter how bad they're trying to make it seem like this was a job opening because the last guy. You didn't hear about what happened to the last guy? Like, come on, get it out of here. Let's hear Tim Walz's acceptance speech. These guys with these, big old emotional grabs, they keep trying to pull you in with these sob stories. I've heard enough Tim Walz and the sad sob stories, guys. It's not going to get you any more votes. Listen to him. Let's hear it.
Governor Walz said during his speech, his acceptance speech earlier tonight, and get your reaction.
It's an agenda that serves nobody except the richest and the most extreme amongst us. And it's an agenda that does nothing for our neighbors in need. Is it weird? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's also wrong, and it's dangerous.
Your reaction to that?
Well, when Donald Trump was president, Jake, you had people buying homes at record rates. You had young Americans who were able to afford to raise a family. You had people who could afford the basic trappings of middle-class life in this country. And so when Tim Walz says that Donald Trump's agenda doesn't work for middle-class Americans, he already was president for 4 years, and his agenda worked very well for middle-class Americans. Again,
Boom, right there, guys. That lie that we got them trying to push, saying Donald Trump is only trying to benefit the rich, the wealthy, the elites. Guys, we've already seen him building up the middle class before. You guys can't sit here and try to lie to us right in front of our face to say that our eyes deceived us the last time this guy was in this seat as the president. Guys, he got it done. You guys didn't get it done. You've been in there for almost three times the amount of time Donald Trump has been in office. The left, the Obamas, and Bidens have been in office, guys. 12 out of the last 16 years. Like, come on, wake up. Wake up. Listen to JD.
Says that Donald Trump's agenda doesn't work for middle-class Americans. He already was president for 4 years, and his agenda worked very well for middle-class Americans. Again, I just wish, I would love for Tim Walz or Kamala Harris or anybody else to say that during the 3.5 years that Kamala Harris was vice president, here is the thing that she did to make groceries more affordable. Here is the thing that she did to make it possible to raise a family in this country. Or here's the thing that she did to secure rather than open up the border. Because they can't talk about Kamala Harris's record, they're creating a phantom of Donald Trump's leadership. The Donald Trump that I know and that the American people know, I think, produced really good results for the American people. It's a record to be proud of, and a record I'd like to get back to, frankly, because it was good for the American people.
Both you and President Trump have suggested that there's something wrong or illegitimate about the way that Kamala Harris replaced Joe Biden on the Democratic ticket. Now that the Democratic convention is here, do you accept Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, as the legal and legitimate presidential nominee of the Democratic Party?
Well, first of all, Jake, she's certainly the legitimate nominee of the Democratic Party. We're going to debate her, and we're going to try to beat her in November. But I do think it's a little bizarre how the Democrats went about this. We have to remember that for 3.5 years, Kamala Harris and a lot of Democrats said that Joe Biden was totally fit for the job. That was revealed to be a lie. And then when it became obvious that Joe Biden was political dead weight, they replaced him without casting a single Democrat primary vote. That doesn't make it illegal, but it certainly makes it a little bizarre. And if I was a Joe Biden voter, I'd be pretty frustrated.
Hey, you see the catch? JD Vance, click on his feet, you guys. I love it from him, man. That's our VP pick right there. JD Vance, Donald Trump. This is why he is who he is right here. Listen to it, man. Bringing the points back to where, bringing all the attention and the focus back to where it needs to be, guys. They keep trying to take and divert away from what the real problem is. Put it back on them. Put the blame. Stop trying to put it on Donald Trump and put this fake image into people's head. We know what we've seen. We know what he's done before for our country. We know what he can do. Come on, y'all. Listen to JD.
Without casting a single Democrat primary vote. That doesn't make it illegal, but it certainly makes it a little bizarre. And if I was a Joe Biden voter, I'd be pretty frustrated at the way that this unfolded.
Before you go, quickly, if you could, CNN's reporting that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is expected to suspend his presidential campaign on Friday. It's been reported that he's considering endorsing Donald Trump, especially if he gets made Secretary of Health and Human Services or such. Have the two men been talking? Do you expect an endorsement? How much might it help?
You know, so I don't talk to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jake. I certainly listen to what he says, and I do think that he is a guy who recognizes that the Kennedy Democrats of old have been replaced by the Kamala Harris Democrats who support high inflation and open borders. So I'm not surprised that he feels left behind by the Democratic Party. I think a lot of Democrats, a lot of people like my grandparents feel left behind by the Democratic Party. I would certainly welcome his endorsement of Donald Trump. I've seen the same reports you mentioned. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but I certainly hope it does, because I do think it would be helpful, because it drives home this idea that the Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy, it's just not the Democratic Party of 2024. Let's get back to common sense, and unfortunately, the only American leader running on common sense right now at a national level is Donald Trump.
There we have it.
Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, thanks so much. Safe travels, sir.
All right, guys. JD Vance, Jake Tapper, letting JD Vance kind of just take over, have the reins in this interview. I've never seen such a raw and uncut CNN interview where you weren't seeing them jump in. The interviewer usually jumps in as soon as you get to the good stuff, the meat and potatoes. But here we got JD Vance able to just coast right through there, guys. And then we've got Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, the TDS at the end. Jake Tapper is trying to clean things up, is what I think, trying to save his hide, if we will. Trying to say that JD Vance is a lot better than the other guy. I mean, he's still trying to push that narrative on Donald Trump to say that he's a bad guy or worse than JD. But honestly, JD is saying the same exact things that Donald Trump is saying. He's highlighting the same points. He just doesn't want to hear it coming from the big bad orange guy. Listen to him.
Dana Bash, Abby Phillip, I will say, whatever one thinks about Senator Vance, he is much more on message and has much more discipline than that other guy on that ticket.
Which is, well, I'm not saying that that is the reason that Donald Trump chose him, but he did choose J.D. Vance a big reason was how he does on television and making the case for Donald Trump, for Trumpism, which he has been doing since Vance changed his mind about Donald Trump and supported him beginning in his own
Dana Bash just can't get on board with boosting up Donald Trump's VP pick, because she knows at the end of the day it's still an extension of Donald Trump. She has the highest level. I think it's up there with Jessica Tarlov, Sunny Hostin, that Trump derangement syndrome. The way Dana Bash just cannot get over that hatred for Donald. Listen to her, guys. Listen to her. She can't speak highly of JD Vance. Listen to it. It's always a jab.
Donald Trump, and supported him beginning in his own race for Senate in 2022.
Yo, there we have it, guys. It looks like Jake Tapper might be getting the boot after just letting JD Vance have a free-for-all in that latest interview. Oh my gosh, absolutely heating up Kamala Harris, the Harris campaign, and the Bidens. It just doesn't matter. JD Vance on an interview is bad news for the left, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. JD Vance going on another warpath in these interviews. When will he be stopped? I don't think he can be stopped. This guy is just too articulate. He's able to catch himself. We've seen him getting hyped up there. Still called himself not to say anything he didn't want to say. JD Vance able to show emotion but still keep it together. Love him as a VP pick. Hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy more content like this. Catch you guys on the next week.